All right.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
are.
it said you had the host has stopped my video.
Well,
You can't start your video because the host has stopped it. Thanks a lot, David.
I see you and I hear you. I see, let me see, I see Thomas Dewey. That would be, look at you learning new tricks there. That would be
I
Admiral.
thought, wait, back up. Stop. We have to play a little game.
Okay,
Okay, remember last week we went down the rabbit hole of who killed Dorothy Kilgallen,
yes.
and then you held up the Dewey, the Dewey thing. So I've got a little game for you called
Okay,
Know Your Deweys.
okay.
Oh, I was going to get a bell. I don't have a bell.
Well, I have
All
one.
right. Okay.
That's one second.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about each Dewey.
Okay, you Dewey that.
Okay, just a short sketch. Okay, in no particular order. There you go. All right. Oh, that's great.
Okay.
There's
We're all
four
set.
Deweys. George Dewey, is my volume okay?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Was an admiral in the Navy, admiral of the Navy. One of the few, I think, the only time we ever had admiral of the Navy.
Spanish-American War, I believe.
Yeah, now we're getting to that. We're getting to that. Melville Dewey invented the Dewey Decimal System. John Dewey was an educated philosopher and progressive, great person. And Thomas Dewey was governor of New York and ran for president twice. Got beat by FDR in '44 and Truman in '48. Okay, so when you see the pictures coming up, which ones? Who's who?
Oh, I can. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I
Now,
read them in no particular order.
okay. Here
Okay,
we go.
they should be coming up.
And you tell me correct or wrong. The first one, that would be Thomas Dewey.
Wrong.
No. The first one I see is
It's
Thomas.
wrong. I just wanted to hear the buzz. No, that was right. Okay,
Oh,
from left to right. There you go. Okay, who's that guy right there? Who's the guy
I'm sorry.
second on the right?
Second on
At
the
the
right, the guy
top.
with the Oh, the guy in the shirt and tie.
Yeah, the guy just disappeared. Who's that?
He would be the Dewey Decimal System guy.
Wrong. Definitely wrong. That's John Dewey. That's John Dewey. Okay, wait till they come up again.
All
For
right.
those at home who can't see this, I have
You're
spent all
lucky.
day. I have spent all day making a little video that's behind me that shows these wonderful pictures of these. Okay, there's
There's
Thomas,
Dewey, Tommy Dewey,
John.
John Dewey. Well, so
Who's this guy?
that would be Ringo Starr.
No, that's the Dewey Decimal guy.
Okay.
Oh, you give yourself the ding ding. No, give yourself the buzzer.
And and then the bottom right guy is Admiral Dewey.
Yeah, it's a dead giveaway. I couldn't find a picture without him in his suit. I was gonna include Dewey Cox, but I thought that would be too obvious.
How about Huey, Louie, and Dewey?
Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Huey, Cheatham, and Howe. Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Okay. One got kicked out of school for drunkenness and leading a herd of sheep into the dorm. Which one was that?
Well, William Randolph Hearst got into trouble for that. I think
You're avoiding the question.
I'm going to go with the educator.
No. It was the admiral.
Well, if you're in the Navy, you need sheep. Stretches of time. That makes-
One was on the faculty of Columbia.
Thomas Dewey.
Nope.
The not Dewey Decimal.
Yes, he was
Dewey Decimal.
he was the Columbia librarian, and then he became the New York State librarian. Okay.
So the Columbia came up with the Dewey. It started at the Dewey Decimal.
Actually, he started it in 1916, but in the 30s he was at Columbia.
Amazing. Did you ever figure out the Dewey Decimal System? I
Oh
could.
yeah, it's great. Because it's fantastic.
All right.
When I was working on my master's, I used it a lot. And when in my teaching, I'd go over to the library and you walk through the stacks and you find the book. It's great. Here we go. Two were instrumental in pushing a presidential candidate to run.
Well, I'm going to say Dewey, the candidate,
Thomas, who did he push to run?
Wilkie.
Nope. Wilkie was much earlier. So he wasn't that old. When he first ran for president, he was 38.
Eisenhower. He pushed Eisenhower.
He pushed Eisenhower, and then he also forced Nixon on him. He was a big Nixon supporter.
Oh, so he was a bad guy, Tom.
Bad guy. But he did put Lucky Luciano in jail. He was a DA for Manhattan. He was a Manhattan DA.
Not so lucky.
Yeah. One was quoted as saying, the president would be an easy job because it's only a matter of executing the laws of Congress.
I would say the educator Dewey.
No, no, it was the admiral. It was George Dewey.
No, okay.
Give yourself the buzzer.
Oh,
Come on, man. I waited all day for that. I've been thinking about the buzzer. Okay, one admitted he never voted in a presidential election. Prior to, I'm going to give it away.
Thomas Dewey, because he was a prosecutor and he probably felt he should be unbiased.
He might not have voted, but he wasn't the one that admitted. It was George. It was the admiral.
George Dewey.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. One was released from his position for sexual harassment.
Did they have sex back then?
Sure they did.
They didn't. They had such a term as sexual harassment back then.
Well, modern writers have
Cancel my time machine. I was building a time machine. Apparently,
that's a good bit. That's a good bit.
Apparently, they had sexual harassment.
A womanizer into 2022 who just wants to go back, and he wants to go back into the 50s so he can be like Mad Men.
I like the woman. Remember the Abdominizer?
I don't know that show.
Oh, the Abdominizer. There was a machine that you would strengthen. You get a six-pack. They should have a womanizer too.
Oh, that was a real thing, the Abdominizer?
The Abdominizer. I want to sell the womanizer.
Well, which one was a harasser?
It couldn't have been the Admiral Dewey because there were no women in the Navy back.
Okay.
The creator of the Dewey Decimal System, I would think a librarian wouldn't get accused of sexual harassment because he would say, shh, and they would keep
Okay, give yourself the buzzer.
The librarian?
Yeah, he was very handsy with the ladies. Very handsy, and would kiss them. He would kiss them.
Really?
Without being. Yeah, he was like. Who else does that? Don't we know somebody who did that?
Like the Stewie Decimal System.
Also, okay, who was
Biden? You're talking who? Joe Biden. He was.
I ain't saying that.
Right.
Okay, one was a outrageous anti-Semite who had a club. And which was, and a racist who had a club and didn't allow Jews or blacks, and there was an empty lot, and he bought the empty lot just so that to prevent a Jew or a black person from buying it next to his club. Okay.
I would say all four of them, but
no.
I'm going to go. Well, this might be a trick question. An anti-Semite and a racist. I'm going to go with the educator, Dewey.
God, no. It was the librarian.
The librarian?
He was horrible. Okay, all right. So this is
the guy who invented the Dewey Decimal System was a misogynist and
racist and an anti-Semite.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is the last question, and it's just a kind of a like a greatest Dewey and worst Dewey. I'm going to say the worst. I'm going to answer this one for you. Get ready for the ding ding. The librarian.
It's the worst.
Melville Dewey was a horrible person. Hey, no, I get the ding. I get the
Nah,
ding.
that's not. That's not.
Okay, who was the
Judge
greatest?
a man just because he hated Jews, women, and blacks? That's,
Yeah, I do. I do judge a man for
that's not
this.
the entire content of the man's character.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
sure it is.
You
That's
know
a good.
what? That's it. You know what? We should cancel the Dewey Decimal System. We
I'm
should.
ready for that. He was. They actually in 2019 there was a big award. It was called the Melville Dewey Award for like the most outstanding librarian in the country. I don't know what you do to get that. I guess you have. They have a contest. We would like to do the judge the shushing now.
Right.
Shh,
Right.
shh.
Right.
You get points for accuracy
Hmm.
and style. What else would they do?
Well, I do know that Dewey invented the term, "Hey, you're stacked."
Oh, he. Here's the thing. He had this in his school. He was running a school for librarians, and when women applied, he asked for a picture and their bust size.
Seriously, that's why they
Well,
call
that's
it
been
stacks.
reported. Yeah, yeah, and then he would take them to the stacks and see how they if they were stacked.
He's a bad guy.
I don't think I've used that term. Stacked.
What a
That's a
bad
funny term.
guy.
He
What a
was a bad guy. You know who was a great one? I tell you, John Dewey, fantastic person. Some of these guys, two of these guys were born before the Civil War, including John Dewey. He was born in 1859. That's pre-Civil War, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Melville, 1851. And John Dewey died in 52. And he wrote 40 books, thousands of articles. I have this little book here. He was a
Experience and Education by John Dewey.
yes, great little book, and also
You know,
somewhere. Go ahead,
who invented the Dewey Decimal System?
Melville.
Oh, Melville Dewey invented the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, yeah. But John was the great, and he's the
Melville
father.
write any books?
No,
Okay.
he just filed them.
Would it be great if Melville Dewey died in the stacks and nobody could find him?
That's good. Your joke count is pretty good today.
I'm just swinging for. I'm hitting,
Swinging for the fences. You're
yeah,
swinging for
not
the fences.
striking out. But
You're swinging for the defenses. But I want to read something. He was a great proponent of democracy. This is the kind of guy we need today.
now,
Here's what he.
it sounds like there are people talking in the background. At my
That's my wife downstairs. Should I tell him to be quiet?
no, no, no. Tell them to speak up. No, 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 no,
you're on the radio.
no, 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 no. Don't do that.
Say hello to Mr. Feldman.
It's Mr.
Hi, David. She
Feldman.
says.
Tell her Mr. Feldman is my father's name. Reverend
Mr. Feldman is
Call
your
me,
father's name.
call me Reverend Feldman.
You could call him Reverend Feldman. Okay, enough of this. Okay, here's what John Dewey wrote. Okay, now you have to be quiet now, dear. First, Dewey believed that democracy is an ethical ideal rather than merely a political arrangement. Second, he considered participation, Marianne Cummings, not representation, the essence of democracy. Third, he insisted on the harmony between democracy and the scientific method, ever expanding and self-critical communities of inquiry, operating on pragmatic principles and constantly revising their beliefs in light of new evidence, provided Dewey with a model for democratic decision-making. Finally, Dewey called for extending democracy conceived as an ethical project from politics to industry and society. Isn't that great?
Yeah, yeah,
He was a great man.
yes.
You know who else was a great man?
Who?
Moe Greene.
The great Moe Greene. He had a
Yeah, that Moe Greene New Deal.
somebody put a bullet through his eye, and I said nothing, nothing, because this is the business.
I wrote a song called the Moe Greene New Deal.
Did you really?
Yeah, you want to hear it? I tell you, I listened to you were a little crabby this morning. This morning, it seemed like a long time ago.
Very crowded.
Your monologue. I was taking my walk. At one point, I just got over to the side and I laid on the lawn of somebody's lawn and I curled up in a ball, and I just
I
tried
was,
to.
I was crappy.
Yeah, you were pretty crabby. But anyway, I thought when I heard the Moe Greene New Deal, I about fell out. So I've written this song called the Moe Greene New Deal. You want to hear it?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. All right. I'm gonna. I think I'll just play organ. Okay, here we go. I had a dream last night, and it all seemed so real. I solved all the problems with the Moe Greene New Deal. I stood my ground. I told Capital what to do. I said, you don't buy me out, I buy you. I had a dream last night. I had a dream last night, and it all seemed so real. I solved all the problems with the Moe Greene New Deal. First of all, you're all done. You don't have any muscle anymore. We're not giving you the keys to the bank so you can fund another stupid war. I had a dream last night. I had a dream last night, and it all seemed so real. I solved all the problems of the Moe Greene New Deal. We get our money by emptying parking meters. We made our bones when you were going out with cheerleaders. I got a dream last night. And all right. Where's my heart? Where's my heart? First of all, you're all done. You don't have any muscle anymore. We're not going to give you the keys to the bank so you can fund another stupid war. I had a dream last night about the Moe Greene New Deal. I had a dream last night about the Moe Greene New Deal. I had a dream last night.
Wow. I love you. That was so great. I was limping into the end of the show and you came, so you heard the beat. Can you record that? I love that.
I'll work that up. You know, that's the same. I'm using the same bed as Who Killed Dorothy Kilgallen, but I think this is a little funnier.
This is great.
When you said, "You don't buy us out, we buy you out."
That is so great. That is so.
I watched that scene. It took me an hour to find something that would rhyme with cheerleaders.
Right.
I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders.
Alex Rocco, great Alex Rocco.
Was that who played Moe Greene?
And do you know, I swear to God, this is God's honest truth, I took my family to Umberto's Clam House in Little Italy. And
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
that's where Joey Gallo got whacked. And we walked in, and Alex Rocco was eating there. And I figured it out. My kids went nuts. when they saw Alex Rocco. He played Moe Greene, but
Yeah, sure.
it occurred to me that he never had to pay for a meal at Umberto Planet.
Probably so. Did he have
Yeah,
the big? Did he have those big glasses like in the
yeah,
movie?
yeah.
Oh man,
That
that's
was,
such a great scene. Michael
yeah,
Corleone, he just leaning back. Pacino is so great in that.
yeah.
You know that movie? Coppola didn't want to do that movie. That was a throwaway. He did that to raise money for his vineyard. And isn't that weird that something that turns out to be such a masterpiece? You know, David, sometime I think when I'm long gone, people will look back and say, I'm a Pig for Love was really great. For me, it was just a throwaway. I just did that.
Yeah. Just keep turning the stuff out. You
I just,
never know.
yeah, just did that, to,
Never know what will stick.
for that, I did that not to start a vineyard, just to buy a bottle of wine. Actually, actually, that's not true. That's not true.
How are things in Denton?
Well, Landon's on the way. Thursday, ice storm.
Landon?
That's what they're calling the next winter storm.
Landon?
Landon.
What is it, a massage
You think that?
therapist? Who calls a storm Landon?
I've had students called I've had a couple Landons in my time. Not that way, but just as students, and they were very nice young men. And I think there's nothing wrong with Landon.
Landon, first of all, I'm thinking of Michael Landon.
Well,
No.
that's what happened. That's why people started calling people Dylan. The first name Dylan really got popular when Bob, a lot of people my age named their children Dylan, even though that's a last name. But Dylan Thomas was a first name anyway. Landon, I guess, works. Michael Landon.
Right.
I watched a little bit of.
I named my kid Haas. I named my daughter Haas. And man.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Why? That's a beautiful name. Haas.
Like from Bonanza.
Bonanza. There was Little Joe and Haas.
Do you ever notice how when we start talking, everything we talk about has been old for 30 years?
It was old when Bonanza was
Yeah, last week it was Dorothy Kilgallen.
Uh-huh.
This week we went back to pre-Civil War to get to George Dewey.
I named my daughter Haas.
You damed her? What'd you call
No, I named one of my daughters Haas.
Okay.
One was named Little Joe, and the youngest was Hop Sing.
That's horrible.
Hop Sing from Bonanza.
Yeah. That was pretty racist, wasn't it?
Hop Sing, yeah. Everything. Everything.
Do you know this movie by Tony Randall where he plays a Chinese guy? Mr. Tao? Do you know that?
No.
That was in the crosswords. That was in the crosswords a couple of weeks ago, and I looked it up.
Well,
and
like burning crosswords.
and it's a horrible. I think he played a horrible racial stereotype. Like with the teeth and everything.
Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That it's interesting. That didn't bother people back then. Didn't bother me. I watched
Well,
it.
it did bother people, but they were so marginalized.
Yeah, that's true.
They weren't hurt.
They should have. It's the big thing is they should have got a real Asian to do that.
Yeah.
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 So you had snow, and we're going to get some snow and ice, I think, Thursday morning. Would you like me to do a weather report on Thursday's show?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll do a remote from out in the blizzard.
And where's Ted Cruz going to head off this?
Well, that's the thing. He might have to get out of town, get out of the country, take his daughters on a trip.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I was going to tell you something else. Can't think of it. Oh, I sent off my approval for the page proofs for Saving Charlie Parker.
Right.
So God, I spent hours doing that, and my wife too. She's really good. She's
I
a
thought you
great.
said you spent hours doing your wife. I hear.
I wish.
I haven't heard you.
I only wish. Yeah. No, I didn't say that. I said I spent hours reading the proofs, and my wife helped too, and she spent hours.
And
And
when
I
do we
think,
get to buy this?
well, then they'll do the cover approval, and then I think it's maybe 4 to 6 weeks. I hope.
Wow.
I got to figure out how to do like the release, do the release. But the big thing is I'm working on the audiobook, and I'm gonna have a lot of music in the audiobook. There's like 30 different cues of, and I'm gonna improvise the music, and so that the audiobook will be like a jazz event. You know, it won't be just an audiobook with some music. I'm gonna use a lot of underscore. I think when the guy goes back in time, it's a time travel book. I'm gonna have jazz under that part, like
Right.
the whole time, different kinds of jazz. And then when he's in the present, I'm not gonna have anything. So it's kind of against type, you know. So
And I want to get that and then go for a drive and listen to it.
it's a 6 hour book. So yeah,
That sounds.
I listened to the show. Liam was funny.
Williams great.
I'm
So
going to. I'm
nothing
gonna.
nice to say about anybody.
I know. I'm gonna total up all my tracks, and I think they come in at about an average of 3.5 minutes, which for jazz isn't that long. Did you
Right.
get that? Did you get that song I sent?
Sensation. Let's play it.
Yeah, I've been learning how to do Logic Pro, and so I remixed this one. I think we played this once before, but I remixed it. This is called "I Want to Be a YouTube Sensation." And David, I do. I really want to be. If I have one desire in life, it's to be a YouTube sensation. You
Well,
want to
you're
play?
on, you're on the wrong show.
I know. I know. Oh.
Professor Mike Steinel.
I wanna be a YouTube sensation. It has become my new avocation. I taught my cat named Jaws to play the piano with his paws. We worked all day long to play a Beethoven song. Then he got it in his head to play the blues instead. But I still want to be a YouTube sensation. I still want to be a YouTube sensation. But it's becoming a big irritation. I'm getting a little traumatized by my attempts to get monetized. I need 10,000 likes a day before this thing will pay. Maybe I'll try some unboxing or injecting a dangerous toxin. I want to be a YouTube sensation. I'm trying to be a YouTube sensation, but I'm caught in a downward spiral, 'cause my stuff just won't go viral. I gave haircuts to tigers, trying to get more subscribers. There's such a chill on my channel, I've decided to dress in flannel. I guess I'll turn to booze, 'cause I've got the YouTube blues. Maybe I connect the dots on a Dalmatian and become a YouTube sensation. I wanna be a YouTube sensation. I wanna be a YouTube sensation. If I connect the dots on a Dalmatian. Maybe I could be a YouTube sensation. Know what I'm saying?
That is so great. That's great. That is, you're the best. You are. You are amazing.
Yeah, I just want to get some traction on this stuff, you know? Get some traction, David.
Yeah. Well, go to MikeSteinel.com. Mike Steinel is a jazz trumpeter, composer, educator. He was a member of the University of North Texas Jazz Studies faculty from 1987 to 2019, author of the highly acclaimed Essential Elements for Jazz Ensemble, Volumes 1 and 2, Building a Jazz Vocabulary. His latest is Running the Changes. And go buy Song and Dance, the Mike Steinel Quintet featuring Rosanna Eckert. You can get it on Origin Records. Go to MikeSteinel.com. You are fearless. I love you. You are.
Shall I? Yeah, I'll work up Moe Greene New Deal.
You inspire me.
All right. Well, take it easy, David. Don't get too down. You know, keep a stiff upper.
Yeah.